faster and slower. Like I do think that our results have been pretty mixed so far, right? Because if you compare the process of getting the beacon chain out the door to the process of getting ETH 1.0 out the door,
Mhm.
like the ETH 1.0 took 20 months, right? From like myself writing the first version of the white paper to launch. But here, like we're looking at a merge that will take like maybe about 22 months or 21 months after the original launch of the beacon chain. And of course, the original launch of the beacon chain itself happened after a development process. Sharding still taking a while. Things like account abstraction are taking a while. EIP, but on the other hand, like EIP 1559, that's something that was like a huge economic reform, and it's one that's had like actually pretty very significant consequences, right?
Mhm.
That's been great for fee stability, it's been great for fast inclusion, it's been great for lots of things. But that took like 3 years to get through, but now it's finally there, right? So I think there's kind of these two opposing pressures that we as a community have to deal with, where one is kind of this pressure that speeds things up because there's more awesome researchers, there's more awesome developers, there's like a lot more effort going into all of these problems. But then there's also the pressure slowing us down, which is like
Mhm.
the desire to not break things, the desire to kind of implement stuff across multiple clients to make sure we have all of these test suites, and also the desire to kind of simultaneously build all of this surrounding infrastructure, right? Like when Ethereum launched, it did not have like this massive ecosystem of block explorers and
Right.
like side infrastructure that the beacon chain has already.
Mhm.
So I think like both of those pressures exist, and like to some extent that's healthy, and like to some extent this actually gets into stuff that I'm going to talk about in this presentation, which is that I think it's like healthy for Ethereum to have a bit of a move fast and break things attitude, like specifically over the next couple of years, because like we do need to radically change stuff, right? Like switching the consensus algorithm, moving over to sharding, moving over to like a very different model for how transactions get included. But at the same time, there's kind of this longer term desire where, we do want L1 to kind of settle down into something that's like very stable, independent, and it's like it's not something that kind of wins by outmaneuvering the alternatives. It's something that wins by outlasting the alternatives.
Certainly.
Yeah, and so it's I guess we're both, doing all of the good work that needs to be done to kind of get through all of these kind of big stages at the beginning. And at the same time, like there's also this question of like, how do we properly set ourselves up for kind of this longer term future where the layer one starts to become this a bit of a more static thing, and the improvements are more incremental, they're more kind of technical and safety oriented. And once that happens, then Ethereum will just get slower, and that's fine, right? But then layer two work is only gonna get faster, I think. Like we've seen already, there's like 5 ZK VMs now, and like basic, there's so many ZK EVMs that they're starting to care like almost as much about debating which one of them is a real ZK VM as they do about actually building the product, which is in some ways actually a great place for an ecosystem to be. Yeah, no, so thinking now, things are going well, and I think and if the recognition that stuff like the merge does actually need to happen on a timetable, like I think that's also something that's picking up. The recognition that things like scaling are something that needs to kind of happen on a timetable, right?
Mhm.
And as I think I've sometimes like said before, like you can lose $1 billion from a hack, but you can also lose $1 billion from everybody just needing to pay way higher fees than they have to. And one is one is more flashy and glamorous, but the other is also actually a really serious kind of drain and tax on the ecosystem. Yeah, no, so but I think people are working on that, and